30 days ago, I launched 5 fully automated YouTube channels. The goal was simple: build a system that could generate, produce, and upload daily videos without my direct intervention. I've covered the underlying Python pipeline, the Claude API integration for scripting, 11 labs for voice, and FFmpeg for video assembly in previous videos. Today, we're looking at the real numbers. What actually happened? Did any of them gain traction? What were the true costs? And perhaps more importantly, what broke? And what did I learn about scaling this kind of AI-driven content? I'm not here to sell you a course or promise passive income. I'm here to show you exactly what happens when a developer builds a system, lets it run, and then genuinely reports the results, good or bad. I've spent the last month collecting data, reviewing logs, and honestly, trying to understand why some things worked and others didn't, despite the system doing exactly what it was designed to do. This isn't theoretical. It's a look inside the actual performance data of these 5 experiments. Let's start with the overall performance. Across all 5 channels, after 30 days of daily uploads, the total views accumulated were just over 7,800. The combined subscriber count increased by 11. That's for channels publishing videos every single day. This is a critical data point, because it immediately pushes back against the common narrative that sheer volume equals success on YouTube. My system delivered consistent, daily content, exactly as designed, but consistent output doesn't necessarily mean consistent audience acquisition. Breaking it down further, one channel focused on historical facts accounted for almost 60% of those views. The others ranged from a few hundred views down to channels that barely registered any activity at all, despite having a full month's worth of content. This early divergence suggests that while the automation worked, the content itself, or perhaps the niche selection, played a far more significant role than simply uploading every day. Now for the part everyone asks about: the costs. Over 30 days, generating and uploading roughly 150 videos, that's 5 channels times 30 days, the total API expenditure came to $147.23. This primarily breaks down into Claude API calls for scripting, 11 labs for voice synthesis, and replicate for certain image generation tasks I experimented with early on. Claude was the largest component, averaging about $0.75 per script. 11 labs was next, at around $0.25 per minute of generated audio. The replicate costs were negligible after the first week when I streamlined the image process. My serverless functions, which orchestrate all of this, added another $5.80, mostly for compute time on AWS Lambda and S3 storage for intermediate assets. So, we're looking at roughly $1 per video, fully produced and uploaded. For a developer perspective, this is important. The cost per unit of content is very low, which is exactly what you want for a scalable automated system. The question then becomes whether that low unit cost can translate into a positive ROI, which so far, it hasn't. Beyond the raw numbers, I encountered a few unexpected technical challenges. One recurring issue involved the YouTube data API quota. Despite carefully structuring my requests and implementing exponential backoff on 3 separate occasions, the daily quota for uploads was exhausted for one of the channels. My system handles this by pausing and resuming the next day, but it means some scheduled uploads were delayed. I suspect this was due to bursts of metadata updates, or thumbnail uploads counting towards the same bucket as video uploads, or simply a miscalculation on my part regarding the points consumed per operation. I've since refactored the upload module to be even more conservative with its API calls and added more robust logging for quota usage, which should mitigate this going forward. It's a reminder that even when you design for resilience, real-world API limits can introduce unforeseen bottlenecks. Another interesting observation was the impact of video length. My initial pipeline generated videos ranging from 60 seconds to 3 minutes. The historical facts channel, which performed best, consistently produced videos on the longer end of that spectrum, often around 2.5 minutes. The channels with very short videos, under a minute, had almost no watch time and negligible engagement. This wasn't a hard-coded length, it was an emergent property of the Claude script generation coupled with 11 labs and FFmpeg. Claude, when given broader topics, would naturally produce more detailed scripts. This suggests a potential area for optimization, explicitly instructing the LLM to target a longer script length, which in turn leads to longer videos. It's a subtle but important finding, hinting that content depth or completeness within a given topic might be more important than just consistent presence. The quality gate system, which I've discussed previously, did its job. I had Claude review its own generated scripts and score them for quality, coherence, and adherence to channel guidelines. Roughly 5% of all generated scripts failed this internal quality check and were automatically regenerated. This prevented poor quality content from ever reaching YouTube, which is crucial for maintaining channel integrity. Without this gate, I have no doubt that some of the videos would have been nonsensical or poorly structured, leading to even worse performance. The cost of these regenerations was baked into the $147 figure I shared, demonstrating that building in self-correction, while adding marginal cost, is essential for truly autonomous content systems. It's a small investment to avoid publishing content that actively harms your channel's reputation. One unexpected positive was the consistency of the 11 Labs voices. Even with daily uploads across multiple channels, the synthetic voices remained remarkably consistent, making it difficult for a casual viewer to discern that these were not human narrators. This is a testament to the quality of their API. The Python integration using their text-to-speech endpoint proved to be rock solid, handling thousands of distinct requests without a single failure related to the voice synthesis itself. This reliability is a cornerstone of the entire automation pipeline, as any voice generation issues would quickly snowball into unusable videos. I configured specific voice ID for each channel, ensuring brand consistency. This consistency, I believe, is a silent contributor to whatever small engagement these channels did receive, as it prevents jarring changes in the listening experience. So, what's next? The obvious conclusion from these 30 days is that volume alone isn't enough. The next iteration of this project will focus heavily on refining the content strategy for the more promising niches, specifically that historical facts channel. This means deeper Claude prompts to generate more compelling narratives, potentially incorporating more complex visual generation, and experimenting with different video structures. I also plan to conduct a /B testing on thumbnails and titles, which are currently system-generated. The automation framework itself is robust. It's the creative layer on top that needs more intelligence. I'm going to release the full codebase for the orchestrator module and the current pipeline configuration on GitHub soon, so you can inspect the actual implementation. If you're interested in seeing that deeper dive into the content strategy and the next phase of this project, make sure you're subscribed for updates.